This September the 8th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN Free Roll Football Contest. Join our free season-long pick'em for a chance to win $3,000 and a Super Bowl autographed SGP helmet. Sign up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/contest. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use the promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code SGPN. We're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL. Win up to 20x in one game. Use the promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. We're brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use the code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any NFL game, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. And that's all we've got time for on the MLB Gambling Podcast today. Not really. Good evening, everybody. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, September the 7th. It's football day. And we've got a full game of MLB action, a full slate for Friday, September the 8th. It's a bit of an OG special here. We've got the three longest serving, the three most reverend members of the MLB Gambling Podcast crew. Joining us first up is Mr. Munaf Manji. Hello, Munaf. How are you?
I'm doing well. Like you mentioned, it's football season's back tonight, but you know we're men of the people, Mal, because we're still going to be grinding out baseball for the rest of the season and trying to find some winners there. Hey Mal, don't forget it's September. That means, you know what that means. It's the dog. Got to make sure we pick a whole bunch of underdogs.
The dog rookie pitchers, yeah. Who was that fella for Texas we kept betting on last year? He had a really funny name. Might have even been 2 years ago. I can't remember. He was like plus 240 every week for about. Yeah, I haven't heard of him since. I don't know where he's disappeared off the face of the earth. But for 5 glorious weeks in 2021, he made us plenty of money. Joining us also is Mr. Dylan Rockford. Hey, D-Rock, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, boys? Yeah, OG episode today. And, you know, I saw on Twitter the other day who handicaps baseball. It's football season. I'll tell you who. We do every day,
yes,
6 days a week. So glad to be with you, boys. And, yeah, got a loaded card.
Yeah, I'm not having a bad week either. 6 units up, I think, on the week on tally site. So, yeah, going along okay. Just making bad picks with my lock and dogs, always. Can never get them right. If I get one, I miss the other one. We'll see. I've got a little football/baseball crossover trivia question, Moon. If you like it when I throw these at you. NFL tight end who was in the Pittsburgh Pirates minor system as a pitcher, starting pitcher for the Pirates. I think he made it to AA. I'll throw that open. I'll throw that open to anybody in the chat. Trev was in there, Riley. No Googling either, because I'll know. Matthew, etc. If you think you know the answer. I think he's going to be starting this year. Like I say, I don't know how far up the minor system he got, but he was certainly at he was at Bradenton, which I think is quite high up in Pittsburgh. But yeah, starting tight end. Throw him out there. So we've got 15 games. The majority are on the board, I think. There's been some pitching changes, but nothing too controversial. So, yeah, we'll get stuck in with where should we go? 2:20, a little bit of baseball tomorrow. Classic Cubs day baseball. It is the Arizona Diamondbacks at the Chicago Cubs. Zach Gallen for Arizona and Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. Now, I've seen a really weird line here, boys. I don't know if you can have a look around this for me. The lines, generally speaking, are -110 each of two, with a total of 8 or 9. However, BetMGM have got the D-backs up at plus 155. And I've checked it repeatedly over the course of the afternoon. And it hasn't changed. It's still there now. I can still see that. So can one of you do some homework on that? Because if that's the case, if it's a plus 150, right. No, it's still there. Still there. If it's a plus 155 with Gallen, then we don't need to go any further. And we can just smash the daylights out of it. Zach Gallen, 14-7 on the year with a 3.48 ERA. He's had 2 terrible starts lately. 6 earned runs with the Dodgers. Every Diamondbacks pitcher. I've got my D-backs hat on. Every Diamondbacks pitcher shits the bed against the Dodgers. This is just science. It did go up 5 against Baltimore before that. This is two good offenses. Arizona are trying really hard. They've been quite plucky this week. They're giving it a go. They're starting to score runs again. Jameson Taillon is 7-9 with a 5.73 ERA. He dropped off again. He was a bit of a laughingstock in the first couple of months of the season for us here on the show. He was easy money to fade. And then he really got it together and had a nice run. He has given up 5, 4, and 4 in his last 3. The Cubs are absolutely rolling on this homestand against San Francisco. It started with that Justin Steele game the other day. Munaf, I know you're clutching a couple of fancy tickets on Justin Steele. But they've just got momentum. Momentum is a real thing, and the Cubs have it at the moment. They're scoring runs. They've strangled the Giants this week. They've covered the spread all 3 games. They've scored 24 runs. But like I say, Arizona just a little bit funky still. Now, if that price anomaly stands, take Arizona, just take them blind. If not, I think the over looks like a really good bet because, like I say, Gallen's been wobbling. I think Chicago will score off anybody. And Jameson Taillon's been giving up a few to Arizona. So I'll take the over 8. Munaf, can you shed any light on that weird price line? Is it just a rick, maybe?
Yeah, I think that it might just be a mistake made by BetMGM there because I'm seeing minus 110 consensus for this game on Friday afternoon. But yeah, I agree with you about the over in this play, just depending on where the wind is going to be blowing, whether obviously it's blowing in or out. But both pitchers have been pretty bad lately, especially Jameson Taillon. You take a look at his numbers over the last 5 starts. He's winless in those 5 starts. But I think the key thing, and me and Lante talked about this the other night as well, and you just mentioned that the Cubs are swinging a very hot bat right now. They're putting up a load of runs. Zach Gallen coming off of back-to-back rough starts, and he hasn't been very good on the road this season as well. If this was in Arizona at Chase Field, I would 100% be on Zach Gallen. But for a guy that has struggled mildly on the road, I think the over is going to be play here. Again, put an asterisk next to that over, just depending on where the wind is going to be blowing. I know Dylan's always has that wind direction for us.
Dylan, what you got?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be on the other side. I like the under. I'm seeing 9s out there. I would take that before the line moves because I do see 8.5s and 8s pop up. I made my line 7.8. The under 8-2 in the Cubs' last 10 games. But the big thing for me is we do have winds blowing in, 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing in tomorrow at Wrigley Field. So, the wind isn't really a concern in most places, but at Wrigley, it's very effective. So I think we see a low-scoring game tomorrow. You're right. I would love to get the Diamondbacks at home with Zach Gallen, but on the road, he does struggle a little bit. Cubs are red hot right now. As a side, I would lean with the Cubs, but I do think it's going to be a lower-scoring game with the wind blowing in, so I'll take the under.
6:40 Eastern, first pitches, the St. Louis Cardinals at the Cincinnati Reds. We have 2 left-handed pitchers going here. Drew Rom for the St. Louis Cardinals, and Andrew Abbott goes for the Cincinnati Reds, plus 102 on St. Louis, minus 120 on Cincy. Total is 10.5. Drew Rom has started 3 games for St. Louis, has lost all 3. And he's given up a combination of everything, really. It's hard to pinpoint. Hits, walks, homers. It's just not an ideal situation. The Cards, they won 3 in a row, I think, now. They got to Strider last night. That was a bit of an odd one. Again, that's what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, putting up dodgy locks, because all we did the other night was really just say how Atlanta and Strider would just get to St. Louis, and we couldn't see anything else. and the run line was minus 142. And I said, I know it's boring, but I'm just going to lock this up. And 10 minutes into the game, it was sort of 4-0 St. Louis. And that's baseball can make a fool of you like that. Andrew Abbott has dropped off slightly. He's 8-3 on the year, 3.27 ERA. He's gone 4.07 in his last 5. But he's got a 2.66 home ERA. Pitched 5 2/3 against St. Louis earlier in the season, was scoreless. I think that's good enough. St. Louis have put a little run together, but it's not something you want to trust. I don't want to trust Rome either, and we've seen Abbott do it all season. I think this is a good price with Abbott. Minus 120, Dylan, please.
Real quick, did Spencer Strider lose to Cy Young yesterday?
Nah.
You don't think so?
I saw you tweet that out, but I think he's fine.
You think he's fine? I hope it's our boy Justin Steele if he's listening. I put a ticket in just like Munaf for him to win the Cy Young, but he might have lost it. Strikeouts are cool and all, but Justin Steele gets wins, and Spencer Strider, not as much. But I agree with you on this play. I'm gonna take the Reds on the money line minus 118. I made him actually a minus 160 favorite, much bigger. I think this is actually a very generous number that we're getting with for a team that's fighting for more. Reds fighting for a playoff spot, while Cardinals, yeah, they won 3 in a row, but they really have nothing to play for besides dignity and pride. But I don't trust Drew Rom at all. The Cardinals have lost every game, all 3 games that he started this season. Abbott is the much better pitcher. He's shown us that he could bounce back after a so-so start. So, yeah, I'm with you, Mal. I like the Reds here. Munaf?
Mal is going bonkers. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you guys on the Reds here. Cardinals, I guess, just fortunate about what's going on, or I guess against the Braves. And Braves, we talk about teams that are ready just to kind of get into the postseason. I just feel like the Braves are at that point right now for this MLB season. I mean, they're already at 90 wins already on the season. They're going to crack 100. I just think that right now the Cardinals were able to take advantage of that. And I think I know Mal was mentioning that the Spencer Strider stat, or at least the run line, I should say, and how it kind of plummeted before the game started, and it goes 4-0 for the Cardinals within that first inning. So, but nonetheless, I like Andrew Abbott. I think he should bounce back here against the Cardinals. I'll take the plus money with the Reds here in this game.
What do you think? Do you think Do you think Strider lost to Cy Young yesterday with that bad outing? Yeah, I think so. I agree. I
tweeted it out as soon as that first inning was over. He gave up 4 runs. It's just especially since the All-Star break, he's had a couple rough starts in there. Yeah. So I just feel like it's going to come down to Blake Snell, who right now is the odds-on favorite. I think he's at a minus price now, and then Justin Steele. So I know we'll get to that game later here in a minute, but Blake Snell's going up against the Astros. So I think if he's able to have a good outing in that game, that number might just move to north of minus 300.
Spencer Strider right now 75-1.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he shouldn't drop off that much, but I agree. I know you put it in our group message, but I really hope Justin Steele, our boy, he really gets the Cy Young for us.
Yep.
Okay. We've got a question in the chat there from Don. Should he take them all into plus 102 today? Right? Yes. Yeah.
I think
I've handicapped Braxton Garrett 3 nights running this week. He's eventually pitching tonight.
They are playing really good baseball.
Yeah, we got them. They turned over Lance Lynn the other day, didn't they? And Pepiot, I don't mind Pepiot, but he's still, I think he's coming back from a little injury. I like Braxton Garrett. Yeah, take him.
I would take it first 5.
There you go. Good advice. Advice all round. Okay, the aliens got you, Munaf, then I think they briefly got me, but I'm back again. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Seattle Mariners at the Tampa Bay Rays. George Kirby for Seattle and Taj Bradley for Tampa Bay. Minus 102 Seattle. Yeah, minus 115 Taj Bradley. And the total is at 7.5 for Dylan.
Yeah, give me the dog here on the road. I actually made the Mariners a minus 110 favorite against Taj Bradley. Second start since coming back for Taj, and he pitched all right in his first start against the Guardians coming back from an injury. But this Mariners team is just a different animal right now. They're scoring a bunch of runs, and Bradley's hard hit rate has been in the high 40s since coming back. So maybe a blow up is coming for him. I think the Mariners are hitting the ball really well right now. I think this is a bad spot for him. We all know how much I do love George Kirby. And let's not forget the Mariners have already took 2 or 3 from the Rays back in early July when they did play. And they didn't just score some runs. They scored 7, 8, and 4 runs in those 3 games. So the offense is getting hot at the right moment. I think they could have success against Taj Bradley, who does have a hard hit rate. So give me the Mariners. I got him at a -102.
Okie doke, love that, Dylan. Munaf?
Yeah, I'm with Dylan here on the Mariners. George Kirby had a really good start against the Mariners early this season. 7 innings, he only allowed 2 earned runs. And it was the opposite for Taj Bradley. I think he only lasted 3 innings against the Mariners and he allowed 5 earned runs. And I think that his last start, maybe a bit of a fugazi just because he went up against the Guardians who really can't hit the ball at all. And that's kind of been the theme of this team for the past several seasons. But I like the Mariners here. Again, they're still fighting in that AL West division. Every game does matter. And if there's one pitcher that at least you want to fade on this Rays pitching staff, at least even at home, that's going to be Taj Bradley. So Mariners money line for me as well.
Yeah, Taj Bradley, I think he's carried a little bit of bad luck. He had an injury, he's been up and down. That win last time out against the Guardians was his first W since the 21st of July. Going back a long way. And he's just given up sort of multi-runs in every start, really. Kirby hasn't been great lately. He's given up 3, 3, and 4 in his last 3 starts. And I just thought the total was too low. Both of these offenses can break out for some runs. And even if they don't, I think 7.5, I was surprised. We've said a couple of times this week that normally Miami have to be involved to see a 7.5 on a card lately. But this is too low. I'm happy to take the over. I think both teams could help out with this. So sort of a 5-3, 5-4 type of game. Julio Rodriguez is on a 15-game hitting streak, if you're interested in that. I did watch a little bit of Tyler Glasnow's 14 strikeout effort last night as well, which was pretty impressive. But yeah, we'll take the over. Football. You've got a couple of hours to sign up for the free season-long NFL Pick'em contest. Which has got $1,000 for first place and $500 for second. If you're a Patreon member for the NFL season, that is double bubble up to $2,000 and $1,000. So if a Patreon member wins the free roll, they'll get an autographed full-size Sports Gambling Podcast helmet, which has got signatures from people like Joe Theismann, Bill Romanowski, Pac-Man Jones, John Sally, Eric Metcalf, LeGarrette Blunt. The sign-up link is at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/contest. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get in for your chance to double your prizes and win the weekly pick'ems. DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and we've got a can't miss offer for week 1. After 7 months without a game, get involved in this. DraftKings is hooking everybody up. You'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any game. The pick, if you're interested, from across the pond is Pittsburgh to cover +2 maybe on Sunday. Fill your boots on that. Download now. Use the code SGP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5 with the code SGP on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Game time. The ticket people, one of our favourite sponsors here. Buying tickets, as we often talk about, is very stressful, but it shouldn't be. And Game Time can sort that out for you. It's a fast and easy way to buy tickets for anything you want: sports, music, comedy, and theatre near you. I know Sean's picked up a bunch of tickets for the Eagles visit to SoFi Stadium, so you can go and watch that with all his friends and family. Really good experience. The lowest price guarantee, the Game Time guarantee, means they will credit you 110% of the difference if you find tickets at the same section and row for less. So the thing to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. 6:40 Eastern, first pitch. It's the Chicago White Sox at the Detroit Tigers. Mike Clevenger for Chicago and Reese Olson goes for Detroit. Tight on the books, +112 the White Sox, -115 the Tigers. Total of 8, Munaf.
Yeah, Mike Clevenger, like you mentioned, on the mound here for the White Sox, not having such a great season, I guess we can say, for the White Sox, but last 5 games, he's 2-2 with a 4.34 ERA. Coincidentally, he faced his Tigers team in his last start, which is back on Saturday. He got absolutely blown up in that start. He gave up 12 hits in just 4 innings to the Detroit Tigers, 8 earned runs in that span, only 2 strikeouts. Reese Olson, had a really solid outing, probably one of his best of the entire season against the White Sox last week. 7 innings, shutout baseball. He only allowed 4 hits in that game. The Tigers have been a little frisky. I think that, again, when we talk about teams that usually don't have anything to play for when you have these September call-ups, you're going to get guys that are going to, number one, want to go out and prove that they belong in the big leagues. And there's other teams that are also watching these guys as well. And again, I think for the Tigers, they're just going out there and playing good baseball right now. I don't want anything to do with this White Sox team right now. I think Reese Olson can duplicate what he did last week against the Chicago White Sox. I'll take the Detroit Tigers here at home. -125 is where I currently see.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Munaf. I think that's the key. The key line in that is, I don't want anything to do with this White Sox team, because why? How could you? I don't want Clevenger particularly. He's got 1 win in his recent game log, which is against Oakland, so it doesn't count. And also, like you say, his last 2 have been good. Although that last one really does catch the eye in the 10-0 win over the White Sox. Detroit happier at home. They went to New York. I took them this week, sort of followed them off a cliff a little bit this week. They didn't get it done, so I'm happy to get them back at home and see if we can get a win here. I'll take Detroit on the money line, Dylan.
Yeah, team right here. I like the Tigers here as well. -118. I made them a -145 favorite. Like you guys said, there's just no way I could back the White Sox right now. Tigers, they're a better team right now. They just swept the White Sox last week. And Munaf said it, the way Clevenger's looked, especially in his last start, 8 runs given up in 4 innings against this Tiger team. I think the White Sox have kind of checked out. So I can't back a team like that. I do think the Tigers are a better team at home, so I'll take them on the money line.
It's a lot of football chat in the comments. The $1 fine applies, people. Every time you make a football comment, it's $1 in the pot, which goes towards the end of season party. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the LA Dodgers at the Washington Nationals. We have Emmett Sheehan is back for the Dodgers, and left-handed pitcher Mackenzie Gore is on the hill for Washington. We have lines of -170 the Dodgers, +142 Washington, and a total of 9.5, Munaf.
Sheehan came back last Saturday against the Braves, and he actually was really good in that start. He went 4 innings, only allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run. Unfortunately, the Dodgers did go on to lose that game 4-2, but like I mentioned, he was really solid in that matchup. Mackenzie Gore on the season had a really good outing in his last start against the Blue Jays, 5 innings, 1 earned run. But on the season, he's just 7-9 with a 4.28 ERA. He has struggled at home. In 11 starts, he only has a 2-4 record. Did face the Dodgers last season when he was with the Padres. He only allowed 1 earned run in about 5 2/3 innings pitched. Did allow 4 walks to the Dodgers. I think we're just going to root for runs in this game. I don't want to lay the -175 price with the Dodgers. I think the 9.5 over may be worth a play here. We know what the Dodgers offense can do. And I think the Nationals can put up a few runs as well in this game off of Sheehan. So I will go over 9.5 in this game between the Dodgers and the Nationals.
Okay, so it's a total for Munaf, Dylan.
Yeah, I agree. I took the over 9.5 as well. I made my total 9.9. Washington hasn't been exactly winning a bunch of games. They did just walk it off against the Mets last night, but over 6-4 in their last 10. Dodgers 7-3 towards the over. So both teams, they're having no problem scoring the runs. We also have winds blowing out in center field tomorrow around 7-8 miles an hour in DC. So and if you look at Emmett's road splits, they're really not that good. I think both teams will be able to score some runs tomorrow, maybe like 6-7 runs a game. So I like the over 9.5 here. I
thought I'd take a bit of a home puppy here, Dylan, +142 with Washington. Sheehan's all right. He's come up and he's done some bits and bobs. He's showed some flashes. But Mackenzie Gore is going well too, 15 1/3. Only 3 earned runs given up in his last 3. Washington did snap the 6-game losing streak here. I just thought the Dodgers have flexed their muscles a lot the last couple of weeks. But I've showed a little bit of vulnerability behind the less than stellar pitching options we saw. Like I say, Lance Lynn got turned over. They lost 2 in a row, I think, now, the Dodgers. Or maybe I was expecting Garrett to go and make it 2 in a row. So yeah, I'm going to take Washington. Give them a little chance here. Do you know, Munaf? 1 year ago today, I was in that car with those 4 Danish kids hitchhiking from Los Angeles, mate. And now I'm sitting here, fucking Newcastle. I couldn't be more sad. I've been a proper sad little boy all day. Just harking back to that. Texting you saying, should I get in this car with these 4 Danish kids? And you said, well, I don't know what you were going to do about it. I was like, how close is Houston to Los Angeles? It's about 3 days away. Shut up, leave me alone.
Malcolm, when's the next time you're coming to the States?
Depends how these bets go on, mate. Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
I'll win Munaf's Pick'em contest, and then I'll get myself out. No, me and Barry on the Premier League show did decide this week that we've now got 12 months, because we'll be talking about it being 12 months to the day. We've got 12 months to save up. So we're going to try and funnel some money away every month and see if we can get ourselves across this time. No, we'll come this time next year. World Cup. No, now you've started me off. I might just come and stay, if that's all right. I'll stay on your couch, Dylan, for 5 years. Be fine. 7:05 Eastern first pitch.
Albus can share the couch.
Yeah, me and Albus. Me and little Malcolm. What's happening? Miami Marlins against the Philadelphia Phillies. Yuri Perez for Miami and Christopher Sanchez, left-handed pitcher for Philadelphia. Plus 120 on Miami, minus 142 on Philly. Total is set at 9, D-Rock.
Yeah, this was actually a really hard game to cap. Tough to come down on a side for. I only made the Phillies a minus 135 favorite, but I do like the under 9. I made my total 8.1. I know it's hard to take an under right now with how Christopher Sanchez has been at home and the way he's been pitching, but I think we might see some regression from this Marlins offense. They've just been on fire recently, 7-3 in their last 10. And I think Yuri Perez will have a bounce back start as well for the Marlins. He didn't do well in his last start, so I don't expect him to have another outing like that one. I just don't feel real confident in anything in this game. It's not something I will bet, but for the show, I do lean under.
Okay, under Munaf.
Yeah, Yuri Perez, I know before he got sent down, was actually doing really well for the Marlins before they did call him back up. But coming off an outing where, it wasn't his strongest of the season against the Nationals. He did have back-to-back starts against the Nationals. One was a great start. One was a subpar start, at least, considering his how well he had been going. But 4 2/3, he allowed 3 earned runs in that span. Like D-Rock mentioned, it's kind of hard to back Christopher Sanchez right now just because of the way he's been pitching and the form that he has been in. And fortunately for Sanchez, the offense has been doing really well in the starts that he has made for the Phillies. And you take a look at the left-handed pitching numbers offensively for the Miami Marlins over the last 2 weeks. They're actually in top 10 in a lot of those categories, at least well above league average as well. So I like what I've seen from Yuri Perez. I'm going to take a shot here with the Marlins on the money line here. I'll take the plus. What's a plus price right now of plus 120? Yeah. So I'll take a stab on the Marlins here. Why not?
Okay, I like that. I think this could be a low-scoring game enough, which puts Miami right in the frame. I really like Perez. How can you not like him? He's going to be fun to watch for a long time. Miami's season might have just come off the rails last night. Sandy Alcantara has gone to the IL. Jorge Soler has joined him on the IL. So the kind of slim chance they had of making the playoffs looks like it's been derailed, and it might just knock the stuffing out of the Marlins. They've been going along really well. They've won 6 on the spin before that. But I love Perez. That ball coming down from 7'8" at 102 mile an hour, that's good to watch. And Christopher Sanchez has been fine as well. Normally gives up 2 or 3, and Philly can help. Philly can overcome that with their offense. But behind two good starts and a poor offensive showing from Miami, I'm going to take I'll take the under 9. I think it'll be a close game. Hall of Fame Bets is a new name here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You can win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets. It is a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. So you can research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. If you enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool, you'll get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate or any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. So to stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays, download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And our old favourites, Underdog Fantasy. A great way to play alongside your favourite football team all season is the Pick'em game. Pick between 2 and 5 players. Select whether they'll go higher or lower on some of their stats. And then just do what we normally do. Watch the telly, watch the football, and cheer your picks on. You can win up to 20x your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. It is a fantasy game, but you can win real money. Watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Milwaukee Brewers at the New York Yankees. Colin Rea for the Brewers and Luis Severino for the Yankees. -112 Milwaukee, -108 the Yankees, total set at 9. Colin Rea, he sort of flattered to deceive a little bit earlier in the season. He had a couple of good starts. I actually picked him up in our TGFBI team, and then he immediately got sent down. He's 5-5 on the year, has a 5.07 ERA, and he was struggling when he got sent down. That was the 4th of August. Came back last week with an average start, a short start against Philadelphia. Luis Severino was 4-8 with a 6.75 ERA. He's just really inconsistent. His last 5 starts, he's got 2 scoreless, which is great. He's thrown in a 3 earned, a 4 earned, and a 5 earned around that. So it's just hard to know what to do with him, really. Those games have been low scoring. And maybe the way this homestand's gone against Detroit this week is pretty straightforward. The Yankees have won, but fairly low key games, and that's kind of what I can see here. Jason Dominguez has hit 3 homers in his first 5 games. I've faded New York all week, and it hasn't worked. Therefore, I'm going to take them in a game. Like I say, I think they've won similar games this week. I can see them winning this 5-2, something like that. Low key, but a win for New York. And -108 is a fair price. So I'll take the Yankees, Munaf.
Yeah, I think that we may see some runs in this game. I don't trust Colin Rea either. Before he got sent down, it wasn't good. He came back, like you mentioned, against the Phillies, 4 1/3, allowed 2 earned runs. Home runs are the issue with Colin Rea, right? You kind of go through his game log in his last 3 starts. And I know this dates back all the way to July 30th, but 3 consecutive starts, he allowed at least 2 home runs to the opposition. So if you're a player prop player, at least for MLB, may want to take a look at some home run props here, whether that's, Stanton, Judge, maybe some other low-key guys that can tee off on Colin Rea. So I think you hit the nail on the head here, Mal, that Luis Severino is inconsistent. So I'm going to caution on the side that we'll see the guy that we're used to seeing all season, where he does give up some runs here. I do think we'll see some runs in this game. Gun to my head, I'll side here with the Yankees. I don't love the side, but I do think that we see runs. Maybe a team total over for the New York Yankees. But it seems like the offense has turned around a little bit for the Yankees, at least over the past couple of weeks here.
Dylan?
Yeah, you're zigging, I'm zagging. I can't believe the Yankees are this big of a favorite. It's up to -125. I actually made the Brewers a -110 favorite. I get they've won 8 of their last 10 games, but the Brewers are a much better team, in my opinion. I get Colin Rea, he isn't the best pitcher, but he did look good in his last start against the Phillies with a good lineup. He went 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs, and the Brewers were up 7-2 through the first 5 innings. I'm actually going to back the Brewers in the first 5 plus a half. I think Colin Rea can limit the Yankees just enough, and I think the Brewers can take advantage of Severino. I can't believe Severino's this big of a favorite, so I got to take the dog here.
You kind of done what I've done all week, Dylan. We haven't recorded together this week. I don't know. And I've kind of made that argument that New York aren't very good. And there's been a little bit of an illusion. And it just hasn't happened. They've kept going. So I've had to jump off it. But yeah, we'll see. They'll definitely they'll get beat now because I've jumped off it. So yeah, you've made the right pick there.
So let's go.
7:07 Eastern first pitch. It's the Kansas City Royals at the Toronto Blue Jays. Colin with 2 L's. Snyder goes for the Kansas City Royals. And Yusei Kikuchi, left-handed pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Plus 160 for the Royals, minus 192 for the Blue Jays. Total is 9, Munaf.
Yeah, Colin Snyder seems like, or not seems like, but he's a guy that's coming out of their bullpen. Should be a spot start for him. Maybe it's a bullpen type of game.
I think, Munaf, I saw Alec Marsh earlier on listed. So I think he'd probably...
That's who I handicap.
Two innings maybe. So Snyder will throw 1 or 2 with Marsh. That's what I'm guessing at that. Like, I've got no confirmation of that, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the game plan is for the Royals. Just let Snyder start maybe the first inning, and then you bring in Alec Marsh after that. But Kikuchi has been pretty solid at home this season. 12 starts. He has a 5-2 record with a 3.50 ERA. His last start, he did get blown up, but that was in Colorado, which was against the Rockies, obviously. 4 2/3, allowed 6 runs overall. 2 of them were earned. He did allow 4 walks in that game as well, but he's been faltering a little bit. His last 2 starts haven't been that good. He gave up 3 earned runs to the Baltimore Orioles in 4 2/3 of an inning. And the Royals, this team they've put up a lot of runs against the Chicago White Sox in their last series earlier this week. The Blue Jays have just been my kryptonite this season, man. I just cannot figure them out.
They're so hard.
Yeah. I'll take a stab on the plus price here with the Royals, but I do think we see some runs, right? Like I mentioned, the Royals have been able to swing a hot bat right now. The potential is always there with this Blue Jays team. Whether you know if you're going to get it or not is always a question day in and day out with this team. But I do believe that if Alec Marsh is going to be getting the bulk of the innings here for the Kansas City Royals, he hasn't been the greatest this season. We've seen flashes of where he can be good for this team, but overall, it just hasn't been very pretty for him. I mean, he has an 0-8 record this season with a 6.23 ERA. His last start was against the Boston Red Sox. He allowed 6 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. So I'll go with the runs in this game. I think we see runs. So I'm going to go over 9 in this game. Gun to my head, if you made me pick a side, I would fade the Royals bullpen because they just haven't been very good all season. -1.5, plus 110 as far as a side, but my favorite play is going to be the over 9.
Okay, Dylan.
Yeah, I agree on the total over 9. I feel like 9 is very short. I made my total 9.8. I know I usually come on here and I say Blue Jays are an under team, but the over has actually hit in 8 of their last 10 games. Royals, they've actually gone over this number in 5 straight games. They play no defense at all. And if it is Alex Marsh going, he's been involved in a ton of high-scoring games. 6 of his last 8 starts have gone over this number. I don't trust the bullpen to be honest, of either team right now. Kikuchi, he hasn't looked good in his last 2 starts. I think we see a lot of runs in this game, so I agree on the over.
Yeah, team right. Runs. Yeah, the Blue Jays are ridiculous. And the worst thing about them is they sort of draw you into thinking that they can be relied upon. And then they just do something absolutely insane. Yeah, I don't mind Alec Marsh, he's all right. But he'll give up maybe 3. And then the bullpen will give up a couple more. We can get to this total quite easily, I think, really. The total in Kikuchi's last 2 games have been 15 and 17. So, yeah, that's more than enough. We'll take that. If I had to pick a side, I'd take Kansas City. I'd like to say if Snyder can navigate maybe 1 inning or 1 turn through the order, possibly. Like I say, I'm not too low on Alec Marsh, so I would take Kansas City if I had to. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles at the Boston Red Sox. Kyle Bradish for Baltimore and Tanner Houck for Boston. -118, the Orioles. Even money, plus 100 Boston. Total is at 10, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I see some 9.5s out there. Even at a 10, I would still go over. I made my total 10.3. Both teams, they've been dead over teams this season. Both the Orioles and the Red Sox, they've gone over this number in 7 of their last 10 games. And whenever these two teams play each other, we typically see a high scoring game. 9 actually being the lowest number that they've scored. We got winds blowing out in Fenway tomorrow night. Orioles last 5 games, they're averaging 7.2 runs. Red Sox last 5 games, they're averaging 6.1 runs. I think we see maybe like an 8-6, maybe 8-7 type of game. I got to hammer the over here.
Okay, Dylan likes the over, Munaf.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle Bradish has been maybe the best pitcher for this Orioles team. But when it comes to the Red Sox, they've been his kryptonite. In his career against the Red Sox, he's 0-4 with a 9.36 ERA. He had a start earlier this season against the Red Sox. This was back in April 25th. 2 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs he allowed. It's almost a repeat performance of his last outing he had against the Red Sox back in 2022 last season, or around September 27th. It's crazy. It's almost the same exact line. 2 1/3, 7 earned runs, allowed 4 walks in that game as well. And I don't trust Tanner Houck either. I mean, he hasn't been very good this season either. 5.40 ERA at home. He's allowed 6 earned runs in just 10 innings pitched against the Baltimore Orioles. You kind of take a look, his last 4 games, total runs combined in those last 4 games, 14, 11, 10, and 20. So I'm agreeing with Dylan here. I think the best play in this game is going to be the over. I currently see that minus 105 over on DraftKings.
My play here is I kind of trust Bradish more. I know you've made those points in his previous start against Boston, but I just think he's a different pitcher now than he was then. He's been going along really nicely. And if you give me Bradish over Houck, then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take Bradish. And it's close on the books. Minus 118 is a good price because Baltimore is still firing along quite nicely. Houck's been going short starts, 3 or 4 earned runs. Tristan Casas is worth a shout out for Boston. He's had an outstanding season, but he's on another tear at the minute. A 13-game hit streak for Casas. I really like his attitude as well. But these two teams, I'm happy at close prices to take, I think, slightly the better team with slightly the better pitcher. So I'll take Baltimore at minus 118. Next up, we will go to, I need to remember the Mets. Where are they? Up there, nearly. It is a 7:20 Eastern first pitch between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Atlanta Braves, where Mitch Keller goes for Pittsburgh and Bryce Elder goes for the Atlanta Braves. Plus 154 Pittsburgh, minus 185 Atlanta. Total is 9.5. Munaf saying the Blue Jays are his kryptonite. I've struggled with Atlanta this week. Or probably not. It's only because I've locked them up the other night. So I'm letting the recency of that get in my mind a little bit. Keller has been pushed back a couple of times. I feel like I've handicapped him all week as well. He's 11-8 on the year with a 3.93 ERA. Pitched 20 innings in his last 3 starts, only giving up 4 earned runs. Played against Atlanta early in the season, gave up 9 hits and 3 earned. So it's really quite hard to judge what Keller's going to give you here. Pittsburgh took a little blow that Andrew McCutchen is out for the season. Was one of the feel-good stories of the year, really, was Kutch going back there and was doing really well as a leader and as a useful bat in that lineup. He's going to be a miss for them. Bryce Elder for Atlanta, 11-4, 3.42 ERA. He had a bit of a wobble, but he has recovered from that. I just don't want to take a short price on Atlanta again. The total looks high. I'm struggling here. I don't know what to do, boys. I'll take the dog here. I'll take Pittsburgh at plus 154. But this will be way down my list of things. Dylan, can you do a better job of this game than me?
No, this is going to be a boring play, but I actually like the Braves to bounce back. I'll take them on the run line. If you could still get plus money, I see plus 105s out there. You know, I get it. They've lost 3 straight, but they're still obviously the much better team. Sucks that McCutchen is out for the season. Pirates actually playing good baseball, 7-3 in their last 10. But Bryce Elder, he's looked good in his last few starts. I think he could get him back into the win column, and we love to fade Mitch Keller on the road. I'm going to take the better team at home with plus money on the run line. Give me the Braves.
Okay, Munaf.
Yeah, I mean, echoing what Dylan said, that Mitch Keller just hasn't been very good on the road this season. 5-5 with a 4.67 ERA. Seems like he's turned the corner after the bad start that he had after the All-Star break. But again, you're going up against an offense that is looking to bounce back, and it's kind of similar to what we saw with the Astros. That there was a series there where they just weren't swinging the bats very well, then that just absolutely exploded on the Rangers in the series earlier this week. We might see something similar to that with the Braves here against the Pirates, whose pitching hasn't been very good either. And again, Bryce Elder has been really good at home this season for the Braves, 6-1 with 3.02 ERA. The Braves have won 4 straight games when he has started for them. 3 out of those 4 games have been by multiple runs. Did get into a little bit of trouble against the Pirates back on August 10th, so maybe a little revenge that he's looking out for. That was in Pittsburgh, but I'm going to trust Bryce Elder here at home, giving the run line here with Dylan. Braves team total over as well.
Yeah, I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. I'd tried to find ways to get into Atlanta. I'd taken the team total on Tuesday. I took the run line and just struggling to hit. So I feel like I needed to snap out of it. Just lazy picks. It was kind of a lazy handicap for me, a lazy pick, struggling with it. So I'm going to avoid them for a day or two, I think. 8:05 Eastern first pitch. These lines have blown my mind, Dylan. So if I've got these lines wrong, you need to shout at me because something's way off about this. It's the Oakland Athletics at the Texas Rangers, where Paul Blackburn takes the ball for Oakland and will face left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery for Texas. And I've got lines of plus 275 for Oakland, minus 345 for Texas, and a total of 9. They're the lines that you boys are seeing.
Yeah.
Right,
exactly
well,
what I see.
I've got a question for you, Munaf. What the fuck? I mean, come on. So, what's going on here?
I don't know. It's just because it's the name of the Oakland A's. And if people have been paying attention to baseball, they would know that the Rangers pitching has just been down the dumpster. And I know that they gave up tons of runs to the Astros over this last series, but even prior to that, they just weren't very good. And their bullpen hasn't been very good either. I know when we talk about Paul Blackburn, I'll let you take the handicap here, but this line just seems a little outrageous, even if it is the Rangers.
Dylan, any thoughts on this?
I mean, absolutely insane. I think I'm in just timeout, just backing the Rangers. I thought Scherzer was going to go good, and he just got shelled against the all of their pitchers got shelled against the Astros in that series. So, I mean, I want nothing to do with the Rangers for until they turn it around.
Yeah, that's it. The Rangers are 4-15 in the last 19 games. They lost Adolis Garcia by the looks last night. One of the better pitchers. Yeah. And you want me to take him at minus 345? Especially against Oakland's best pitcher. Like, I probably take Oakland more than is sane and healthy, right? But if any of you boys ever take them, it's because Paul Blackburn's name is on the slate. I'm pleased. I thought I'd gone mad. I didn't know what I was missing. So I'm pleased that you boys have backed me up here. Oakland have actually won 3 of his last 5 starts as well. This is incredible. Get in the queue. Oakland plus 275, Munaf, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the A's on the first 5 money line. Put Paul Blackburn. Again, I think that the Oakland A's, again, not playing for a lot, but we talked about it with, I believe, the Tigers that, you have young guys that want something to prove. And like you mentioned, the Rangers, 4-15 over their last 19 games where this pitching staff, I think you and I could probably go out there and get a hit off of this Rangers pitching staff right now. So,
well, I could.
Yeah, you could because you're the professional here. So Oakland A's first 5 inning money line for me with Paul Blackburn, like you mentioned, their best player on the mound or their best pitcher.
I might wake up and check the scores and see Texas won this 6-1, and it won't be a huge surprise. I'll get on with the rest of my life, but it's nuts. The prices are nuts. 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the New York Mets.
I'll take the Athletics as well. by the way.
Oh, I thought you. What did you say when you said things? Then did you not make your
it's
pick?
all right. You don't want my handicap. I want the A's first 5 with Munaf, and I also take him full game.
Wants 2 turns at every game. 8-10 Eastern first pitch. It's the New York Mets at the Minnesota Twins. Kodai Senga for the Mets, and Dallas Keuchel, left-handed pitcher for the Twins. It's a match on the books, -108 each of two. Total is 8.5 or 9 if you want it. These prices look wrong to me as well, Dylan, and I reckon you agree.
Oh, yeah. Give me the Mets here on the money line. I got it at -105, -112. I made him a -140 favorite against Dallas Keuchel. I don't care if Dallas Keuchel has looked better. He's still not better, nowhere near than Kodai Senga. And I think the Mets bats have woken up, especially Pete Alonso. His bats have woken up a little bit. And I think they could score some runs in this spot. I know we love to fade Senga on the road, but I just don't think he's been that bad on the road. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs on the road in his last 7 starts on the road dating back to early May. So if the Mets can give him some run support, 3-4 runs, I think they could get that against Dallas Keuchel. I think Senga will limit the hot bats of the Twins, and the Mets should win this game. If they do, that's a different story, but they should win this game with their best pitcher on the mound. I actually don't think the Twins should be the favorite in this spot, but give me the Mets here.
Okie doke. Home I play for Dylan, Munaf?
Yeah, I mean, I've been an advocate of backing Kodai Senga at Citi Field, and I know this is a road game for him, but he's pitched really well for this Mets rotation this season. 10-7, 3.08 ERA. Last 5 games, he's been absolutely solid with a 3-1 record with a 2.48 ERA. He hasn't allowed more than he's actually only allowed 3 earned runs or more in just once in his 4 of his last 5 starts, which is against the Braves. But his last 3 outings, he's been absolutely solid. Double-digit strikeouts in his last 2 starts as well, 10 and 12. And like Dylan mentioned, that the Mets bats seems like they've woken up, and now you're going up against Dallas Keuchel. I mean, I know last season he was the fade of the season anytime he was on the mound for, I believe it was the Diamondbacks last year. But he kind of came back down to earth against the Texas Rangers in his last start, where he did allow 5 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings pitched. So long story short here, I'm going to take the Mets on the money line, -112. I think there's some value on the run line there as well at +150 against Dallas Keuchel and the Twins.
Yeah, I think Senga's trustworthy now on the road as well. He's obviously just taking a little bit of time to settle, which is absolutely understandable. I think he's got the 3rd best ERA in the NL, or he did last week when I checked. So he'll be up there. Sorry?
Fifth best.
5th now. Oh, he must have. He was 3rd last week. So yeah, he's still hanging around in lofty company. And yeah, I'm not having Dallas Keuchel. I don't want anything to do with that. Minnesota owe me last night after that radio broadcaster talked me into unloading the clip during a rain delay. Oh, man, you live and learn. So yeah, Minnesota owe me. They can pay me back by getting turned over here. I'll take the Mets at -108.
Is Pete Alonso going to win the home run title?
Nah.
I don't think he could catch Olsen either.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Have you got a ticket, like?
No, I don't, but I do think it's interesting.
7:20. Oh, we've done that one. Whoa, I'm going back in time. 8:05, I've done that one. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. It's the San Diego Padres at the Houston Astros. Blake Snell, left-handed pitcher for San Diego, and Hunter Brown goes for Houston. +116 on the Padres, -135 on Houston. Total is 9. Blake Snell has been the subject of a bit of chat in the comments. Cy Young talk. We were talking earlier on about Justin Steele, etc. I know there's some Blake Snell tickets kicking around. He's 12-9 on the year. He has a 2.50 ERA. And he is absolutely still rolling along, 4-1 in his last 5 starts, a 2.03 ERA in that span. His last 2 have gone scoreless. The Padres took a little blow last night. Gary Sanchez broke his wrist. So I think that'll be him toast for the season. He's been a revelation since they picked him up at catcher. Hunter Brown is 10-10 on the year with a 4.53 ERA. Hunter Brown, he's just really wobbly. He hasn't had a good start for quite a while. But they've just scored so many runs lately. You kind of expect them to get out of any amount of shit that Hunter Brown might get them in. They won that series against the Rangers 39-10. They hit 5 home runs or more. I think they hit 6 in 3 straight games. Five homers or more in 3 straight games. 39 runs in the 3. Blake Snell is just Houston are a different proposition to the Giants and the Cardinals, which were the last 2 games he's pitched those scoreless starts against. And I watched the Padres the other night. I can't remember what game it was. It was to be the UK friendly time game. And they're still a bit like the Blue Jays. They're still just absolutely half-arsing it. Like, you just don't want to rely on them. I'd like the price to be a bit better, but I'll take Houston on the money line at -135, Muna.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can trust Hunter Brown, like you mentioned, just because he's been in bad form. It's kind of been inconsistency with Hunter Brown. Last start against the Yankees, he allowed 3 earned runs in just 4 innings. They lost that game. They're kind of been alternating between win-loss when Hunter Brown is on the mound for the Astros. But he hasn't been very good at the juice box. He's 3-6 with a 5.56 ERA. This is going to be an intriguing matchup between Blake Snell and this offense for the Houston Astros, obviously coming out of that Rangers series where they looked absolutely unstoppable against the pitching of the Rangers. Blake Snell, again, he's still prone to throwing or walking a lot of guys. And that's not a mistake you want to make against this Astros team, because if you let guys on the bases, they're going to make you pay. I think I'm going to go with the Astros team total over in this game. I think this might be around 4.5 at even money. I'm not sure you'll get a 3.5. If you do get a 3.5, it'll be heavily juiced, but I'm banking on probably a 4 or 4.5 in this game. But I think that Blake Snell may get into a little bit of trouble here. I don't trust Hunter Brown. I think my more favorite play is probably just going to be the over in the Astros team total.
Okay, so Munaf thinks Astros will just keep hitting home runs, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the under. I got a 9. It's at 8.5 right now. I still lean under. I made my total 8.1. Snell's looked great, and he really hasn't given up. He hasn't given up a run in his past 2 starts. Walks are an issue, like Munaf said, but both of those games went under the number. Actually, his last 4 starts have all gone under this number as well. Usually we do see lower scoring games when Snell is on the mound. And I think he'll do a good job limiting the bats of the Padres. And I also do like Hunter Brown. Outside of that start against the Yankees and the Mariners, I thought he's been pretty good. So towards the side, I lean Padres at the plus price and maybe a first 5+1/2, but I do like the full game under.
9:38 Eastern first pitch is the penultimate game on the card. It is the Cleveland Guardians at the LA Angels. Thanks, Muna. Logan Allen, left-handed pitcher for Cleveland, and Griffin Canning goes for the Angels. It's another close one on the books. We've had a few of these tonight. -112 Cleveland, -108 the Angels. Total is 8, Muna.
Yeah, I could have sworn we handicapped Griffin Canning last night for the Angels, but as of Thursday, they still don't have an announced starting pitcher for their game, at least on Wednesday night. But nonetheless, Griffin Canning on the season, 7-5 with a 4.30 ERA. At home, he has 4-2 with a 4.65 ERA. His last start was it was a pretty solid start. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's only allowed combined 4 earned runs over his last 3 outings. He's made back-to-back starts for the Los Angeles Angels, but the downfall for him has been he hasn't gotten much run support for at least from the Angels. And it almost seems like that Shohei Ohtani just might be done for the regular season here. On the mound for the Guardians is going to be Logan Allen. I know we've talked a lot about him on the pod this season. Left-handed pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians here on the season. He is 6-7 with a 3.77 ERA. I think that record is a little deceiving because we talked a lot about the Guardians and they just can't hit the ball very well or score a lot of runs. You'll see spurts where they're able to score runs, but a season long, they're always in the bottom of the league when we talk about offensive statistical categories. But Logan Allen in his last 2 starts, again, not very good, but he was going up against 2 teams that are very good against left-handed pitching in the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. I think the Angels are just ready to get the season over with and just, get to the off season and just get into all the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes and things like that. Guardians, I know they're coming off a series against the Twins where they just got their doors blown out. I think I better have the better pitcher here on the mound here for the Guardians with Logan Allen. I just don't trust the Angels to score runs here in this game. So I'll lean towards the under in this game. That number is currently at do you have a total in this game here? 8. Okay. And then I also go with the Guardians money line in this game.
Okay, thank you, Dylan.
I agree on the Guardians. I did make them a -116 favorite. So -112 on the road. I do agree there. I actually like the over, though. I made my total 8.8. You know, the Angels, like Munaf said, I agree. They've given up on the year, and they really don't care about pitching. They don't care about playing defense. They're over 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've gone over in 4 straight games. And Griffin Canning is actually a fade for me at home. And like you said, Munaf, Logan Gilbert hasn't looked good in his last 2 starts either. We got winds blowing out into center field tomorrow night. I feel like 8 is a little too short, especially for a team that just doesn't care right now. I would lean over here.
I'm on the other side, Dylan. I've got the under. Logan Allen's, like Munaf says, we have kind of kept quite a close eye on him this season. His last two have been dodgy. And as obvious as it sounds, he's been better against the bad teams. And this certainly fits into that bracket. And I like Griffin Canning. He's one of the 4 or 5, 6 guys that I've kind of blown the trumpet for all year. His last couple of starts have been good. So this was 2 starting pitches that I quite like against 2 offenses that I don't need any encouragement to take for an under. So I didn't have to look much further than that. And under 8 will be my play. 10:15 Eastern first pitch. The Colorado Rockies and the San Francisco Giants. We have Ty Blatch for the Rockies, left-handed pitcher, and Kyle Harrison, left-handed pitcher for San Francisco. Plus 188 Colorado, minus 205 San Francisco. Total is 8.5. Blatch v Harrison. Dylan, a couple of names to conjure with here. How did you do it?
Yeah, both teams struggling here to put together some wins, but I am going to back the Giants here and Harrison in a bounce-back situation. You know, he did regress a little in his last start against a decent Padre lineup, but at home, he did look solid against a good Rays team. Only 1 game, so a small sample size, but I'm just not a believer in Ty Blatch. He just gave up 5 runs in his last start against the Blue Jays, and Giants have owned the Rockies this season. They've won 5 of the 6 games played between the clubs, and regardless of how bad the Giants have looked on their road trip, at home, they've been dying to come back home. 38-31 straight up at home. I think this is a good spot for them to get back into the win column. So gonna take the plus money on the run line for the Dodgers at plus 102.
For the Giants.
For the Giants. What did I say?
Dodgers.
My bad. Yeah.
Okay, that threw me out. I wasn't really listening, and then I heard Dodgers, and I'd gone through a time curtain or something. Munaf, what's happening?
Yeah, I agree. Let's go with the Giants here. I know Ty Blatch he's had a couple good starts in there. I mean, look, he had a solid outing against the Baltimore Orioles. He had a good start against the Dodgers there as well. But I think that Dylan mentioned it, that the Giants are a really good home team, right? And that hasn't been the case just this season. It's been the case over the past several seasons where they've been competitive that NL West division. But I think Kyle Harrison can bounce back here as well. He's been pretty solid at home, at least in the few innings that he has pitched. And again, we talk about guys that come out of the bullpen that make spot starts or even just starts or even come out from the minor league system. They're really comfortable more at home. And again, you're in a pitcher friendly ballpark. I'm going to go with the Giants here as well on the run line, minus 1.5 plus 102. Maybe look at a Giants team total to go over as well.
I think you're both absolutely nuts. We didn't know who Kyle Harrison was 2 weeks ago. He's a minus 205 favorite in an MLB game.
What does that tell you?
It tells me we're back the Rockies at plus 188 because Ty Blatch is all right. That's ridiculous. Again, might wake up and see the Giants won. But not at that price. No, thanks. Blatch, he's won his last 2. There you go. There's a stat. This is Harrison's 4th turn through. His home start against Cincinnati was good. So the under would be a play, 8.5. But I can't, at these prices, for these 2 names, got to take Colorado. We'll parlay Colorado and Oakland. What's that paying? That'll get us to Vegas next year, no problem. That is exactly what we'll do. Captain Zano's joined us for the last 5 minutes. And he's flexing. He's flexing his Cardinals' first 5 pick from a couple of days ago. So well done, Captain. Yeah, that was the night we had all the altar boy jokes. Dylan caught an incredible amount of strays the other night in the chat. He was getting it from all sides. He's shaking his head there. You thought you were going to get away with it tonight, Dylan, for the first hour and 5 minutes. Okay, that was fun. We've got to the end. Lock and dog, Dylan, you can lead us on.
All right, trying to go 4-0, went 2-0 last on Tuesday. For my lock, give me the Mets. I haven't locked up the Mets all season. I know.
Mets podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I just think this is a really good spot for him. Senga, I think we could kind of blow the notion that he hasn't really been good on the road out the window. I think this is a good spot for him and the Mets against a really... I know Dallas Keuchel's looked okay since coming over from the Twins, but I just still don't trust him. I'll take the short price with the Mets as my lock. As my dog, I really wanted to take the A's just to fade the Rays. No, I'm not getting peer pressure. I've been on this pod way too long to get pressured. Give me the Brewers. I still don't trust the Yankees. I'm going to back Colin Ray in this spot. I know the rookies, they've given the Yankees a little life here, but I just think the Brewers are a much better team. I think we're going to see some regression. And minus 125 for Luis Severino. I don't care if he's home or away. I'm going to back the Brewers here as my dog.
I've got the Brewers down here at minus 112, Dill, but I mean...
Okay. Oh, damn. They're an underdog. They're favorite. Okay. Shit.
No, I see a plus 105.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we allowed that? All right.
Jesus Christ, this guy.
I'm just telling you what my notes say, mate.
You can't look at the notes. You've do it 17 hours before.
Yeah.
I wrote this out 3 weeks ago. I wrote this down. It's absolutely it's bang up to date. It's bang up to date.
How many more days do we have till the baseball season?
Only a month and a half.
Can't wait for opening day next season. Munaf will be back. What's your lock and dog?
For my lock, I'm going to go with the over in the Orioles and the Red Sox game. I'm just going to fade both pitchers. Kyle Bradish, I know has been having a really good season for the Orioles pitching rotation, but he's just got into trouble against the Red Sox. The last two outings dating back to last season, he's on 7 earned runs and just 2 1/3 innings pitched. I don't trust Tanner Houck either. Like I mentioned, they've gone over this number of 10 in his last 4 starts when he is on the mound for the Red Sox. And like Dylan mentioned, the wind should be blowing out in Fenway, and we have these two offenses that have been absolutely raking over the last month. I think we'll see runs being scored on Friday night in Fenway Park. So I'll take the over 10 as my lock. For my dog, I'm going to go with the Mariners run line, minus 1.5, plus 155 with George Kirby on the mound. I like what I've seen from Kirby this season. We've talked a lot about Taj Bradley on the pod this season as well. I know he got called up, had a decent start in his first start back, but this Mariners team, they have to turn it around. They're still in that fight for the AL West division, if not the AL West, then at least a wild card position. And again, it's still in front of them. They can get out of this rut here. There's a pitcher that I want to fade at home for the Tampa Bay Rays. It's going to be Taj Bradley. I'm going to take George Kirby and the Mariners, minus 1.5, plus 155 on the run line.
I'm going to go to the same game for my lock. I think the 7.5 is too short. Seattle and Tampa, I think both can give up a few. Like I said, Kirby 3, 3, and 4 recently. Bradley has got better days ahead of him, but he's just given up multi runs in every start. So yeah, but both offenses going okay, over 7.5. And for my dog, Oakland, come on, you two were an absolute letdown. Oakland plus 275.
I saved it for you. I knew you were going to take it.
I knew you were going to take it too, yeah.
And we're going to also parlay them with Colorado. That pays about 10-1, that parlay. On the money line. But yeah, Texas, 4 and 15 in the last 19 games. I don't care who you are. Oakland got the best pitcher going, plus 275. The tight end plays for the Carolina Panthers. Are we any closer to getting this correct?
Currently plays for them?
The tight end.
Hayden Hurst.
Is the right answer. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst was Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher. He's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine him bearing down on you from the mound. Munaf, give this one NFL winning play for tonight, opening night.
Let's go with Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, I love that. I've got him in the Guillotine League over 1.5. I'm writing this down. This isn't for the show. This is just for me. Everyone, you can talk amongst yourselves at home. Dylan, you give me one too.
I like Patty Mahomes over 2.5, but I also like Jared McKinnon anytime touchdown score. I think he gets in tonight.
McKinnon anytime touchdown. Beautiful. Right. Thanks, Munaf. Thanks to Lynn. That was loads of fun as always. Cheers, everyone in the chat. It was buzzing as it usually is. Enjoy the football, but also mainly enjoy the baseball. Someone will be back tomorrow night. We do our little Lock Dog Total mini turbo episode type thing. And we'll be back with a full fat version on Sunday. Good luck with all your bets. Back on Sunday, and I'll see you down the road. Cheers.